is George and I'm a patent attorney. I'm 45 years old and I live in East Preston, which is on the south coast of England, quite close to Littlehampton.
I'm Lynn, I'm 38 and I live on the south coast and I'm a lawyer.
I've been married before and I have 2 daughters, and there came a point where, having been single for a bit, I thought I was ready for another relationship, and then that made me think I should try some dating.
I'm divorced. My first husband left when my little boy was 8 months old, so I've been bringing up my little boy for 3 or 4 years. That's why I was single.
I did find it difficult meeting other single people. A lot of my friends are in couples, so that's difficult. I have 2 daughters, and a reasonable amount of my time is spent with them, so that didn't leave much time left for meeting other people. And I work full time, so between children and work, there wasn't much time left for meeting other people. Online dating is something I had thought about, and I did try it, and I didn't have particularly good experiences, and it made me think I should try something else that would work better for me.
I never tried online dating or speed dating. It didn't really appeal to me. I think for me the nice thing about drawing down the moon was the security of knowing that the person had been interviewed in person and they were going to be exactly who they said they were. Whereas online dating, I didn't like the idea of sort of being an advert on a website somewhere. So I think the agency for me was much better, slightly more discreet and a lot more personal. I joined a dating agency mainly because I was actually helping a friend with dating. So I'd done a profile for her on a dating site, and I was looking for different agencies that might be suitable for her. And then I thought, actually, why don't I try it? I found Drawing Down the Moon on the internet. Read some of the accolades that were on the site. I think there was a video of a couple, it all looked very positive. I was attracted to Drawing Down the Moon, I think mainly because of the good profile it seemed to have. I think I read some of the newspaper coverage that the agency had had, it all seemed very positive.
I can't remember exactly what the reception was like when I made the call, but I remember it being friendly, I remember it being easier than I expected, and I remember thinking I'm very happy with the decision. It seemed like the right thing to do.
By far the hardest thing was making the call in the first place, and I guess I was thinking, well, am I the right person for the agency? Do they, I was maybe 35, I had a 4-year-old son. And I guess I wasn't really sure whether the agency would think I was an appropriate person. So that was difficult, but once I'd made that call and actually spoke to somebody, and they were very lovely and encouraging, and then going down to meet them, yeah, it felt fine after that.
I had quite a few dates through Drawing Down the Moon, and I have to say that all of them were lovely people. They were all interested and interesting. I never really felt I was meeting someone who was a stranger, and all of them were exactly who they said they were, and I think that mattered for me because of the other online dating experiences I've had where people have been not quite who they said they were.
When I first saw George, he just came across as very fun, very jolly. He had a really sort of bright shirt on and just sort of bounced along. He was just very friendly, and yeah, so that made it really nice, really relaxing. And I think right from the start, I thought, well, even if he's not the one for me, we're going to have a really nice time this afternoon.
We met at Victoria Station by the flower cellar. We immediately jumped on a tube and went up to Wembley because the tickets I had were for the FA Cup semi-final. And I think the day went well. She was interested and interesting. I'm not sure she'd been to many football matches, but she talked a good game, and it was a good match, and we had a nice time. I don't remember much more than that, really.
We very quickly arranged for a second date. So after the first date, we at the end of that date, we both knew we wanted to see each other again. So I think we swapped a few texts and worked out when we could see each other next. Because I was working in London, George was travelling up to London to meet, so we had a few dates where we sort of meet in London after work, had a lovely time, went up the river on a boat, went to some different restaurants, just got to know each other. We kept it quite relaxed initially, and that's what it went from there really. Once I'd met George and I knew he was somebody special, then I started telling my friends. A few of them knew about the dating agency, but I hadn't told everybody. And then it was actually really nice to say, well look, this has happened, and I've met this really nice guy. And I think once you start talking to people about it, often they will then say, well, I know somebody else that met through an agency, or they want to know which agency because they're quite interested, and they might want to think about it themselves, or they know somebody who wants to join an agency.
Well, Drawing Down the Moon has changed my life because I'm now married, and we're delighted to say that we're expecting our first child together, and we're both very happy.
Drawing Down the Moon has definitely changed my life. Both for me and my son, it's meant a lovely family around us, and obviously with having a new baby as well, it's lovely.
I would have been persuaded to get in touch by knowing that it was easier than I first thought, and it wasn't frightening, and it was a reassuring environment, and the people who were part of the agency were exactly who they said they were. No surprises.
Yeah, and yeah, I think once you start meeting people, you realise everybody is normal, and there's nothing really to worry about, and you can actually start enjoying it rather than thinking, oh, this is really nerve-wracking. It's fun. We have talked about whether we'd ever meet each other. I think our sort of professional lives possibly might have overlapped, but only very vaguely. So
Well, I'm south of London, and Lynn was north of London, yeah. So that makes it quite difficult.
Yeah.
I think we wouldn't. I think there's no prospect we would have met without DTM. Has it changed our lives?
It's definitely changed.
I think it's changed our lives fantastically. Yes. We're very happy.